Hello, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Leukopak Lady. In the last episode, I left you with the reality that not every collection center will be able to scale with the cell therapy industry. Not all centers are willing or capable of supporting the commercialization of therapies. In previous episodes of this season, I talked about donor stratification, how collection centers need to characterize donors to identify those with cells most likely to be successful in manufacturing runs and patient treatment, and then work with developers to qualify those donors to fit specific therapeutic programs. Today, I want to apply this concept of stratification to the collection centers themselves. I count at least 35 independent Leukopak collection centers in the U.S. Most share the basic core capabilities like random donor recruitment, infectious disease testing services, generic collections to a target blood volume or time on the instrument, and general shipment capabilities for fresh product. Centers with only the basic capabilities are transactional providers. They spend the least amount of money to provide the bottom of the line products that don't meet the needs of scaling or commercial programs. Fortunately, some centers have begun to differentiate themselves, offering advanced donor qualification and recruitment, collecting to a target cell count, providing GMP compliant material, performing custom donor and product testing, offering processing services like cell isolation and cryopreservation, and handling complex shipping requests and cold chain logistics. For collection centers to be capable of scaling with development programs, they must separate themselves from the pack and from their core business model. The nonprofit business model doesn't provide the resources needed to support scaling. Having the cheapest price doesn't leave room for innovation and providing services that scaling companies really need. And failing to invest in innovations in donor qualification, extended testing, and processing services will leave you behind the more market-savvy competitors. Centers must become strategic collaborators by prioritizing donor strategy and processing services, supporting program-specific donor selection, sharing data with developers, and providing whatever services the growing market needs. It's obvious that developers have a lot of choices for Leukopak providers, so they start asking, who is forward-thinking about what the market needs? Who helps de-risk my regulatory and supply chain strategies? Who can help me scale my program? Who can support me through commercialization and beyond? And who are my true partners? There are centers out there that are in complete denial that they need to be more than just a vendor of Leukopaks. And believe me, I've talked to them, I've heard them give presentations at conferences, and I've listened to them comment on others' approaches. They are not interested in stratifying themselves to become supporters of commercialization. These centers are not forward-thinking, but they will limp along, racing to be the cheapest, most basic suppliers of Leukopaks for R&D. They will secure academic clients and very early-stage developers to buy their Leukopaks, but when it comes time for those developers to reserve donors for their program, address manufacturing variability, implement strict donor qualification requirements, procure consistent material, and understand what's in the bag they just received, they will have to move on to Leukopak collectors who have stratified away from being just simple providers to being true industry partners. The pool of Leukopak collection centers will become more stratified as allogeneic therapies move towards commercialization. The question is whether they will choose to stratify themselves towards becoming industry partners, or if they will become stratified into the pool of basic Leukopak vendor. Join me on the next episode where I talk about independent processing hubs. Can they help developers move towards commercialization faster? See you then.